I hope everyone is doing good and you guys gonna have a wonderful day today. This is Seemab Mehmood. I'm currently a final year medical student at IFMSA Medical University. Along with that, I'm chairing International Student Surgical Network for this year, maximizing for the 80 plus national working groups all around the world. So, first of all, I would like to sincerely apologize for the delay since I have some connectivity problems in the live session and I've been able to catch up in the live session, but I'm more than happy to provide this recorded uh, presentation that I am going to share my insights on it today. So thank you for your for your cooperation, and I'm looking forward to provide you my insights on how we can maximize the academic footprint. So with that, today that day my session was planned on how we can increase academic footprint and how we can optimize them. So for a research career, I have put three major, you know what, platforms that needs to be recognized as a part of your research career. That includes the ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and the ORCID. That is also another platform where we usually have the researchers' presence, and it makes a lot of good digital footprint. So with that, let's start and move. I'm sharing some insights, and if you have any questions, you guys can feel free to reach out to my email and the contact numbers from the OC members. So with that, and in today's session, the most important part of it that we are going to discuss the trio of the academic identity. When I say the trio, that means the important three platforms where the researchers have their viability and have most likely a good presence all over, the world. It's not about being you the localized researcher. It's gonna be the globalized researcher, and how the globalization works. It usually stems on the digital footprint. So, a strong digital presence for a medical researcher is particularly very important because it makes you to show to the world what you did, and it also helps the other researchers to connect you if they want to collaborate with you. So, it ultimately makes a cohesive ecosystem that ensures that work is found, and it can also be cited by the other researchers and attributed correctly. So basically, when it comes to the presence, there comes a very few important things that we need to keep in mind. The first one is the scientific social network that stems from the ResearchGate. It focuses on collaboration, direct networking, and the interactive project updates. The ResearchGate share, doesn't have only one thing, that it's a social network for the researcher community, but it also have few perks that as a medical students and even as early career researchers we can have perks of. The first one is the sharing the preprints and the posters, because most likely we mostly have many research papers done, but we are not able to publish, and somehow it's very hard to get peer reviewed submissions and journal publications. So what we can do, we can publish them as preprints. ResearchGate has a perk that it provides you a DOI, digital object identifier, for the preprints. That means you're gonna have a digital identity of your document that can be cited in the future. The posters, the conference posters, because mostly we usually make posters for the different conference participation, and that ended up in a very single way. And the single presentation is not the only major goal. You guys should have your posters published on your ResearchGate profile, and that gives you a even DOI, that is again digital object identifier. So that means whenever the other person is going to work on it, they will get to know, hey, the XYZ researcher has did his work on a poster work, and that's likely going to give you a identity that you have been working on this particular subject and you did it and you represented to, and that's you have poster to, even if you didn't have a peer reviewed journal publication. Then direct full text peer request, that means, let's say if you have your paper published but it's in the closed access journal, that means it's not likely going to available freely, but the other researchers can request full access, and that's likely you can also request the full access from the other researcher too. So this direct full text peer request also paves a great way when it comes to the research kit. Then the interactive Q&A forums. We have lots of interactive Q&A forums that makes things prettier easier, and that also likely show to the world your presence, that you have been working on different topics. Let's say if you're working on antimicrobial resistance, that means you have been answering to the questions just by the other researchers or the early career researchers. That gives you a standing among research community and makes you to highly visible for the collaboration opportunities as well. The second one is the Google Scholar. The Google Scholar is the likely very important one because mostly the Google Scholar is the most commonest way of analyzing the digital footprint of any researcher, because it's likely most highly indexed, and the major of the population in the in the world has been using Google. So the Google metrics are likely give you a very edge if you have a good Google Scholar profile as well. So it's like an automated citation tracking machine. It just like entire web is going to be scrutinized by the Google Scholar, and then they let you to know that how many citations have been over your paperwork. So it can be highest public search visibility, automated citation indexing. It also tracks high index and the I-10 index. That means your number of research articles that has been cited highly and that have greater, the other researchers have cited your project in their research articles. So the Google Scholar is basically one of the platform that gives major visibility to your work, and particularly, it is excellent as these metrics can help you to build your digital footprint when it comes to the research, and it's mostly commonly identified too. So Google Scholar is likely if you want to make sure that whenever anybody search your name on the Google Scholar profiles comes in the front. So make sure to have your sign up here because it likely helps you a lot. Then the ORCID, the persistent identifier. This is like a permanent unique 16 digit digital code. That means your name is not going to be ambiguous, but it is also going to have the ID as a researcher, and that is going to be 16 digit your personalized digital code. So it's likely a universal author identification. Every new sign up on the ORCID is a new combination of the 16 digits, and that means round about 10 raised to power 78 of the patrons can still be recognized over the ORCID for the next few years. So then it's also this ID has a few perks for the researchers. It helps to links grants, papers, and the institutes as well, where you have served, which position have you taken off, and how many papers have you published, and how many grants have you won. All these data comes to your ORCID unique ID number as a researcher. And of course, ORCID is also very important because it is mandated by the top journals for the submissions, because they want you to recognize your work with your personalized digital identity as a researcher. So they make sure that your, if there has been two researchers, like let's say if I'm Seemab Mehmood, another researcher name is also Seemab Mehmood. So what makes us different is likely to listen is our ORCID ID number, because it's going to be different for both of us. So these are try of the academic identity that is highly appreciable you guys to go through it and make sure that you guys have signed up for all these platforms. Now we're gonna go for a future comparison and the platform synergy. The future platform that comes here, understanding the operational strengths of each tool helps to leverage them effectively without the duplicate effort. So as I said earlier, that the research gate is the networking, sharing, and the discussion, while Google Scholar is station tracking and the SEO indexing. That means system engine optimization, because this helps you to identify what actually your digital print looks like when somebody is going to search your name on Google. Then the ORCID ID formal author identifier, that is ambiguation, because this likely gives you a digital presence in the digital numbers that needs to be highlighted at the highest platforms. So in the journal submissions, this is your actually the real name that usually journal looks for. That is your 16 digital code. Then control over listings is the research rate is high because they usually have a manual claim and upload option as well. Google Scholar is medium because they are mostly run on the algorithmic and the semi-automated scale. ORCID is very strict because they have a strict registry record. That means that this is going to be most, I wouldn't say this is going to be a most attributable, but definitely that's likely going to be a highly precious when it comes to the OCID ID, and that's why the General Submissions has also recognized its importance and shows this widely. While the unique metrics we do have on the research gate is research interest score, and it's just a reflection of how much you have been involved into the research, and how much impact your research has been producing. So the research gate use a metrics called research interest score. Then Google Scholar use high index, I-10 index, and the total citations. These are three metrics that they use to profile the researchers and their impact of what they have published in the previous years. Or CIDID, they didn't have any very unique metrics. It's just a record that of all the papers published and have going to be liked by it here. Full text storage is yes for the research kit. It is available. They are going to provide a DOI for Google Scholar. No, they only just have crawl links to the other side, so they don't have only full text submissions, etc., etc. For the ORCID, definitely they also provide just the original DOI, digital object identifiers, without any prerequisites for it. For the general mandates, optional, it's like a community resource and highly recommended for the visibility. But the ORCIDI rate is mandatory by the most publishers because that's likely help them to differentiate between the two researchers of the same name. So that's likely a good start of it. So there has been a pro tip that please store 16-digit ORCID ID on both your Google Scholar profile description and your research kit bio to sync indexing. That's definitely help you to synchronize all three platforms altogether. So this is like some tips on how you guys gonna have the maintenance metrics. An audited profile hurts academic credibility. Establishing a structured, lightweight maintenance actually helps you to establish a platform that can make you to a digital footprint is always polished and accurate. So the first thing is weekly routine. I mean, it's highly suggestive that respond to the private full text prerequisite requests on the research gate, because that's likely, if you are actively engaging with other researchers, that means they will directly drive your readership, your published article citations, and the potential collaborations as well in the future. So it's highly suggested that please address to all the requests on the research gate. That's likely makes you accreditable as well. Make sure that you guys gonna do monthly audit for the Google Scholar, because they usually have audit listings, automatic listings available, and remove incorrectly claimed papers to protect your indexing integrity. That's pretty much important. I mean, I always say that the researcher thinks is the best thing you have to learn, and for every early career researcher, I highly suggest that please make sure that you guys have good academic integrity before getting into this world. And the last one is semester. The post project means usually you just have done one project. Let's get published. Make sure to you're going to track your ORCID record with new abstracts, conferences, posters, or the peer reviews. That's likely going to just to make sure that you are up to date and your account shows what your real progress is and where you're currently standing in terms of the research publications. So there is a golden rule of the maintenance. When you publish a new article or the conference abstract, make sure that add metadata on the DOI to ORCID, upload preprint or the poster to the research gate, and verify Google Scholar auto claims it. So this is like a three steps that I usually follow too. For example, I recently published my article in the June, in the Annals of Global Health, and we just did DOI to the ORCID. Usually you get an email from the ORCID too that we have identified one new article published on your name. Please verify is it yours. If you didn't get receive the email, that likely you can add manually as well. Then on the research page, you can search for the DOI that makes you to locate your article as well. And then lastly, verify Google Scholar, and that also helps you to recognize where you have been leading to. So in the end, there has been a few live things that I want to say to all of you, that get your ORCID, because this is where you claimed your persistent 16 digit identifier. You guys can make your account on behalf of your organizational account. That means every student in Pakistan in medical school, they have their personalized emails at their FGMU workspace for us and for the rest of the world for their respective colleges. Then the research kit bio, please make sure that you guys gonna have a professional medical headshot and link to the FGMU and the scholar alert. Set up citation alerts to track global clinical interest in the real time. so that whenever there is a new citation on your new published article or your later published article, it's going to be get an information into your email. So these are a few things that I would highly appreciate while on how to create an account. That's likely you guys just have to. I would give few tips over there. The first thing is you guys have to create your account on the ORCID via your institutional email. For the institutional email, you guys can reach out to the IT department. And for the ResearchGate too, usually at FGMU, the practice is the ResearchGate link or the email is active for the fourth year students and then later final year until the house job. For the Scholar Alert, for the Google Scholar, you guys don't have to make in any institutional email. It just like that you guys have some publication on your name and then you guys can create your account for the Google Scholar. So I hope this helps you to explore these three platforms that can be helpful on how you guys can strengthen your academic integrity and digital footprint as a researcher. If you guys have any questions, feel free to um, reach out to me via my email, via my social media handles, and of course, your coordinators of this activity, FJMU series, that likely I'm more than happy to answer your any queries. Thank you again and wish you very best in your research journeys.